Hi guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to my channel. We are 8 videos down, and I'm still weird. I'm still awkward about this whole thing, but we're doing it. Yeah. Oh, what a long day. It's I think it's 10 minutes past 3. I just got back. I'm on leave today. I'm on leave because I had a maintenance court appearance date. I don't know what to call it today. So I took leave, and it wasn't hectic. Actually, let me backtrack a bit, because I did promise that I'll do a maintenance video once everything was wrapped up. And I did promise myself yesterday that today was the last day I'm going to maintenance this year, because I'm tired. Okay, I just want to wrap the first half of the year with like peace, less drama, less heartache, less stress, and just peace. I just want peace in my life. And one of the things that I needed to cut out was this maintenance thing, because it's stressful. If nobody told you this, I'm telling you now, it's stressful, but it is worth it. But it's stressful. So I'm gonna backtrack a bit to when this actually started and how we ended up to today, right? So this wine is garbage, by the way. Horrible. I started the maintenance thing last year, I think end of October, early November. So I went to the court here in Witbank. Went to the court. When I got there, they gave me a form to fill in. The form is basically your details, the father's details, the child's details, and then, excuse me, and then you list your income. If you've got multiple income streams, you list all of them, and then you list all your expenses. And the expenses are divided in two, so it's yours and then the baby's. So for example, if you're paying rent, right, let's say your rent is like 600 rand. So if there's only 2 of you staying in that house, you're gonna half the rent, so it's gonna be 300 rand, 300 rand. If there's 3 of you, you're gonna divide it into 3, so it's gonna be 200 rands for you, 200 rands for the child, or maybe 200 rands for maybe the aunt or whoever you're staying with, right? So you divide according to the number of people in the house. And for things like daycare, school, uniform, all of that, 100% is assigned to the child, right? Because they don't share the costs with anyone. But things like food, rent, what else? Maybe rates, if you pay rates, gross, I already counted that. DSTV, maybe Wi-Fi, like all the shared expenses and petrol. You divide according to the number of people that you use that particular thing. But if the expense is only for the child, then you take 100% and put it for the child. I hope I'm making sense. Yeah, and then you fill it in, then you sign, and then you basically total everything at the end. And then they ask you for your bank statement, your pay slip, the child's certificate, yes, and then your ID. Then you submit. When you submit, they need to give you a date. That date is when the both of you now are going to come to court and meet with the maintenance officer, right? But for that to happen, they need to have his details as well. So they need to know where he works or where he stays, so they can be able to serve him. Because the maintenance journey, it's a legal journey, so it involves umthetho and yeah, all those things. So they need to serve him papers and subpoena him to come to court for that particular issue. So when I first went there, I didn't have anything. I didn't have like his address or whatever. I just knew that he stays in Joburg, and he works somewhere in Joburg. So I submitted, and they gave me a date for the 19th of January, I think, or something like that, like early January. I'm like, cool, sharp. Beginning of January, I'm having anxiety. I'm like, I'm gonna go to court. I'm actually doing this because the whole of last year I was having this back and forth in my head. Like, I didn't know if I wanted to do it. Like, and I knew it was going to be dramatic. I didn't know if I wanted to go through that. But the more things happened, the more I was like, okay, I've got nothing to lose here. And if anything, it's going to help me in the end. So I was just like, okay, let's go, right? So when submitted, they gave me a date for early January 2022. The 19th, giveaway saying bath. I'm like, yes, we're going to court today. We're gonna see today. Get to court. There's like a few people, and then they all go in, and then I think by like 10. No, I think by like 9. No, I'm lying. I think by 10. Yeah, by 10, they were done with the people there. So they asked me if I could see like the person I had asked to come to court, the defendant, basically, because I'm the applicant and he's the defendant. I'm like, nope, he's not here. So in my head, I'm like, okay, he didn't pitch, so what happens now? Like, I was just ready to go on. Okay, they're like, okay, fine. Now we are dealing with the people that don't have their baby daddies here. So first they deal with the people that have like the baby daddies here, or the defendants there, and then when they're done with that, then they call the rest of us. They called the rest of us, right? So I walk in there. I'm like, okay, cool. What happens now? They're like, okay, this is what the gentleman said to me. He's like, okay, here's a file. There's no directive here. I'm like, okay, what's a directive? A directive is it a directive? Okay, I don't know. But the thing that says he was served and he had to sign was not there. So they didn't serve him. So I'm sitting in there like, I was pissed off at that point. I was like, okay, you have my numbers in the file, you have my details. Why didn't you call me and tell me this person was not served? You wait for me to show up here. I wait for like 2 hours, and then you tell me, like, I did not understand. Fine. They're like, okay, we're gonna need an address. We're gonna need an address to serve him. So, you're gonna have to find an address. I'm like, okay. Oh, challenge, those people were rude. Like, they were really rude, and I was just like, yo. At that point, I was ready to give up. But there was another lady there in there. Now she was rude, but she's like, no, Sissy, some things you can just Google, like go to his Facebook page, you know, like she was trying to help me, but she was rude. But you know, you take what you can get. So I'm like, okay, cool. Went to his Facebook page, found the name of the school, or found the name, like where he works, and then Googled the school, found the address, filled it in, cool. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna try and serve him like this week. So we're gonna give you a date, like early Feb. I can't remember if it was the 1st of February. I'm not sure, but it was early Feb. And I was like, okay, great. That gives me like less than 2 weeks. Fine, I'm fine with that. Okay, I wait here. Oh, before I left court, I met this other lady. She's like, yo, I've been in maintenance like twice already with 2 separate people, and I know how things work here. And she's giving me advice like, do this. She's like, keep every receipt, do like any purchase you make for the baby, keep the receipts, do this, do that. Like, I was like, okay. She gave me confidence because she also told me how her story like unfolded, and I was like, oh, okay, so there's hope, you know, I'm not doing this in vain. There's hope. So she's like, and then she was like, yeah, this court, I like this court because they really fight for the baby and for the child. I was like, okay. So I left there feeling a little bit empowered, even though like Madalingam, and basically didn't serve the guy and didn't tell me. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, cool. yeah, so the days go by, and now it's okay. So I try to put together every receipt I can get, because it was less than 2 weeks before we had to go to court. I try to find everything I could get, school fees, clothes, everything I could basically put together. Okay, the date comes, I get to court, is there. I get to the gate and it's there by the gate. There was a line by the gate. I'm like, okay, so it's on. We walk inside. After a few delays, we walk inside, and I think we were one of the first people to go in because the two parties were present. Hey, we go inside. We were in there for almost 2 hours. I won't go into detail about who's this Kulmangani, because some of it I don't want to remember. Some of it was just it was unnecessary. I don't know where it came from, and some of it was just yo, can we just get this over and done with? But we were not in agreement. We were not in agreement, and it was horrible. The experience was horrible. I remember walking out drained. I was just drained, and I was yo, I can't believe I have to fight. Why am I fighting? Why are we fighting? What the hell? So and the maintenance officer tried, she really tried, and she was neutral, and I don't know what to say about that experience. I'm trying not to think much of it because it was a lot. It was a lot. I remember walking out there thinking what am I doing? Is this even worth it? We didn't come to an agreement. I was asking for, I won't even disclose what I was asking for, but yeah, which is not even a half of her expenses. It's not even a half, but what's there to say? It is what it is. Yeah, and then oh yeah, so we walked out. We didn't come into an agreement about the amount. We walked out, and the lady was like, no, I'll do an interim order for you. So in the few months, in the 2 months, I think it was 2 months, before you have to come back, he's gonna have to pay X amount for monthly, and then X amount for clothes, and then he's gonna have to retain the child in his medical aid. I was just oh my god, I have to come back here again. They were okay, this is an interim order, right? And then they're when you come back, you're gonna go to the magistrate, and then you're gonna have to tell her why you want this amount, and then the defendant's gonna tell her why he can't pay that amount, and then she's gonna decide, what amount is gonna be paid. And then I couldn't wrap my head around that whole thing. We're going to court, we're going to actual court, to do courty stuff, we're gonna go, you know what I mean? I was hi boo, I can't believe this is that serious. Honestly, when I started the journey, I never thought we would go to in front of the magistrates or whatever. That was the whole thing, Jogusi. It's that serious now. We could have just agreed on the amount, but now we have to go to court, and why? I just found the whole thing so unnecessary. But I was determined, and he was determined on continuing with the process, and I was okay, sharp, let's do it. So the next date was in April. So we had February, March, and a bit of April to figure ourselves out. Was it April? Yeah, it was April. It was just before I went home. No, man. Okay, I can't remember. Between April and March, right? So, okay, so we go back there, and when I got there, there were already people there, and he was there. And this whole time, I kept like praying. I'm like, please don't come, please don't come, please don't come, because if you don't come, then they just, I think if you don't come like twice, then they just give you the amount that you've asked for, and it becomes, it's in like, they just basically force him to pay that amount, right? Because he didn't show up. So I was like, if you don't come, then I basically get what I want. But I found him there. He was there. I'm like, oh, baggies, round 2, let's go. But I was more anxious the second time around. Okay, actually, I was anxious the first time around, right? Because I didn't know what to expect. I work better if I know what's gonna happen. Like, my mind needs to have at least an idea of what's gonna happen. The first time around I was anxious, but I knew it was okay. We're gonna go in front, like Sizwe maintenance officer, and the second time around, because it was like the magistrate court and all of that stuff, I was like, yo, I did not prepare for this, and I didn't want to watch any videos or research or whatever, because also if I have too much information, then my brain just goes into like information overload and I can't function, right? So I was like, okay, the little I know about this process, contrary to what I just said, the better. Okay, then we get there, and also I was just like, okay, well, how bad can this get? Like, they're just gonna ask us a few questions and then answer, and then that's all. We get there, to our surprise, we're still meeting with the maintenance officer, and then with the first meeting, she asked us to bring like the expenses that we listed for the child and his stuff that he listed there. So I had to bring for the child, and why I'm asking for that amount, and he had to bring for whatever expenses he had, to say, Gusi, I can't afford because of 1, 2, 3. So we met with the maintenance officer in the second time around, and we gave her those things. Bundles, like bundles of expenses, pay slips, and all of that stuff. Okay, sharp. She puts them together, and then she takes them to the magistrate. And then she comes back, she's like, she's going to give us a date to meet with the magistrate. And we were confused because we thought today was the date to meet with the magistrate. And she's like, no, you can't meet with the magistrate before she has all your information like in front of her. And I'm just like, hey, Batumba Mudim, like, I can't go through this again. Like, I can't, like, I'm tired. But I'm like, okay, let's let the process like unfold, right? And she's dying, so I'm gonna try and do this quickly. I'm like, okay, let's let this process unfold. I think because Lisa was kind of pushing to see magistrate, the lady was like, okay, let's try and see, right? So we get in there. It's actually relaxed, like it's just an office. I don't know if that was where we were supposed to meet the magistrate, but she was in there. It's just an office with like a big ass desk and then 2 chairs on the side, I guess, for the applicant and the defendant or whatever, the 2 parties. We sit down and she looks at our things and she's like, okay, what's the problem? And I'm like, okay, we're not in agreement. And she's like, how much you're asking for? I say, and then it's actually a crazy amount. Like, it's so little that it's crazy. I think she was just like, are these people crazy? Why are they wasting my time? And then she asked a couple of questions. She asked me where I work. I asked him where he works. If he has kids. If I like basic things like that. And then she asked him why he can't pay the set amount, and he's like, no, I'm supporting my family, where, and I'm under debt review. And then she's like, do you have anything that shows that you're under debt review? He's like, no, I don't have it right now. And then she's like, okay, I'm gonna postpone your case until you bring the proof the evidence that you're under debt review. I'm just like, yo, hey man. So now we have to choose a date that's convenient for the both of us, which was today. The whole time I was trying to act cool. Like after the maintenance thing, I was trying to act cool. Like the magistrate appearance, don't. It's like, yeah, I got this, until yesterday. Yesterday my heart was so heavy. It was so heavy. I remember telling my friend Trisha, I was like, whatever happens tomorrow, I'm not doing this again. Like, I'm not going back there. I am not going back there. And yeah. So, for the sake of peace, right, I just decided, no, like, this is as far as I can go for now. Maybe next year. Actually, not even maybe. Definitely next year we're going back. But for now, like, this is as far as I can go with the whole thing, because I won't lie to you, it's mentally, emotionally, spiritually draining, right? Like I've said so many prayers ngalendo maintenance, and I could be praying for other things, but I'm praying for maintenance. Like, so for 2022 I'm done. Oh, what happened today was that got there, he was there. I was also praying that he doesn't pitch, but he pitched, right? He was there. And then the first couple went in. I think they took like more than an hour. And apparently there was going to be load shedding at 11. So the security guard there was like, okay, if there's load shedding at 11, who guess will be on 1? And then go 1, they're going to have to squeeze, like try and work through all of you guys. And there's so many of you today. Like, my suggestion is that you speak to the defendant, or you speak to the father, or you speak to whoever you're here with, and try to see if you come to any agreement, and then you can just go in and sign, right? I mean, it's not the usual process, but okay, I mean, it worked for me because I was just like, the less noise, the less drama, the less back and forth we have, like, the better. And like I said, my prayer yesterday was literally that whatever happens, like, I was like, God, please give me peace with whatever happens tomorrow. It's fine. Like, just please give me peace. I just want to be at peace. Like, I just want to be fine. So, surprise, umuntu wants to, like, come to some sort of agreement. So basically nothing changed from the last time, you know. The agreement still stands the same. So today was just a waste of time, to be honest with you. But yeah, like, my heart is just, I'm breathing lighter. Like, I'm great, and you can't buy that peace. And no amount of money from him will probably give me that peace. I'm for now, I'm at peace. I'm not at peace with the amount. I'm just at peace with the whole situation, because what else can you do? If he doesn't want to give me the money or give his child the money, then there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to accept and move on. But it is what it is. Yeah, I hope I covered everything. I really do. Like, this is just the last video. First, the last video I'm gonna make about this, and I hope I did justice. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, the wine is the wine is, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Love you. Bye.